All right, what's up, guys? Jackson Abe here today, and this is going to be the second video of the little bit of dieting that we're going to talk about. Like I said, I don't know how many videos this is going to be, so this is number 2. We talked about in the last video how to set up our diet sustainably, where to start in looking for our protein. So in this one, we're going to talk about starting off with how much protein do we need. Typically, I tell everybody we need a gram per pound of body weight of protein. So I weigh 220 pounds. I consume a minimum of 220 grams of protein per day. Now, you may think this is hard. You may think this is difficult. Not a lot, it gets tricky, because truly, I would say most people could get away with 0.75/0.8 grams per pound of body weight. So if I was 200, that would look something like 170 to 180 grams of protein, whatever. So it's a little bit less than a gram per pound of body weight, making it a little bit easier for people to reach that goal. The only issue with that is if you can consume the amount of protein that you need, don't sell yourself short and, cut some out every single day just because you're like, oh, well, I'm getting 0.7 or 0.8. If you can consume the 1 gram per pound of body weight, then you need to assure that you are doing that every single day. But if it is a struggle for you to reach your protein goal, you can lower it a smidge to help you build the habit of consuming that much protein in the first place and then build up from there. Protein does so much for our body. It is a vital nutrient, macronutrient. And when we talk about our proteins, like I did in the last video, we need to ensure that we're consuming proper protein food sources such as beef, chicken, salmon, any kind of fish really, but salmon's going to have really high omegas, that you can't really get in the supplements. They're great. Stuff like pork chops, eggs, bacon, Greek yogurt, nuts, cottage cheese, shredded cheese if you're into that, making Chipotle type bowls. You can get some from beans. It's just not something that I do. Typically, all of my protein sources come from the outside of the store. So I don't really rely on anything in the aisles to give me my protein source. I do use a whey protein just because it helps flavor my oatmeal a little bit better. And I don't have to rely on peanut butter to give me that flavoring that I'm looking for. So that is the one thing we need to keep in mind when we're talking about dieting and sustainability, is that protein, and ensuring that we're having protein at every single meal. And if we're having snacks, we need to ensure that protein is also the base of that snack as well. Don't just have some, like a fruit bar or even just a banana. Have a little bit of cottage cheese or Greek yogurt with it. Something that can accompany your protein. All right, sorry. Usually I don't edit the videos, but I couldn't stop coughing there for a second, so we didn't need 20 seconds of me hacking it up in the video. So I just decided to stop it, and we're just gonna cut and edit this. So sorry. Anyway, back on track. When we're building our plate, now that we've got our protein down, we need to talk about what the rest of the plate looks like. And so I like to kind of take an optional approach here, because I don't want anyone to feel like they have to restrict themselves from the food they can eat. But you also need to understand how everything plays a role and why certain things need to be consumed when we're taking, our nutrition into consideration. So one of the first things when we're building our plate, protein aside, we already got that figured out, is we need to figure out the rest of the plate, what it looks like carbohydrate and fats wise. Fats are tricky because a lot of the times, like, fruits, rice, potatoes, vegetables aren't going to contain a lot of fat. And if we're just eating chicken, we're probably not getting a lot of fat. So then we need to look at, like, hey, do we need some avocados or MCT oil or some nuts thrown in there? That's just something we need to look at. But if we're eating steak or ground beef, or we're eating eggs or some dairy, we're probably going to get a little bit of that fat in there. So we don't really need to worry about ensuring that is also getting tacked onto our plate. We're getting trace amounts of it. It's going to add up at the end of the day. But like I said, if you're only really eating chicken and egg whites, like, it's a totally different ballgame, and you do need to ensure that you are finding ways to incorporate some fat into your diet. So we got our protein down, whatever. We're looking at our carbs, and we're looking at fruits, vegetables. So kind of the approach I like to take is, if you're going to have a carbohydrate source, if you're going to have rice or potatoes, you got to have a vegetable with it. Fruits are great. I'm all about fruit, but there's other times in the day that we can find time to eat fruit. If we're having a carbohydrate source like I just listed, we need to have a vegetable, because fruits, while like I just said, they're great. They have the micronutrients that we're looking for. They are also typically comprised of carbohydrates, and we don't need to be overpiling on carbs. So we need to be smart. We need to get some micronutrients in from our vegetables instead. If we want fruit, that's great. Half our plate can be fruit, or the other half or whatever. Some of our plate can be fruit, some of it can be vegetables, or it can be all fruit. That is one option as well. Or simply you could just have meat and vegetables. So you kind of have some three options there when you look at it. You can have your protein source, carbohydrates, and a vegetable, or you can have carbohydrate, or not carbohydrate. You can have your protein source, fruit, or you can have and a vegetable, and then you can have your protein source and then just a vegetable or just fruit. So I guess that's four options. A way to design your plate. So again, talking about sustainability, this is where you can learn how to apply that for yourself. Go thinking, okay, I don't eat a lot of protein, and I don't eat a lot of pork. Not eating fish, but I do like eggs and I do like chicken, and ground beef's pretty good. Okay, we have a really good start there. So we need to start figuring out the amounts of protein that we need to eat per meal. The easiest way to go about this is the simplest way to break this down is to have 3 meals or 4 meals, 4 smaller meals, and aim to get 40 grams of protein to each meal. Now I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but it's not. It is actually very doable if you weigh out your food, because then you're going to know the exact amounts that you're eating, and then over time you're going to understand that this is what I need to fuel and function. My body likes this; it feels good, and over time you're going to understand that the protein is the source of our, or is the main component of our meals, and when we put that as the focus, we typically stay on the right track. So. Again, aiming for that 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is going to be ideal, and then surrounding that protein with other fuel as well. Like I said, you kind of have 4 options there with the carbohydrate sources and then your fruits and vegetables. So I think this is a really good place to start. Again, a lot of this is very vague. It's a broad overview, but I think this can point a lot of you in the right direction when you write this down and just look at it from an overall big picture perspective, and you can go, okay, I can make this work for me. Again, hiring a good coach or nutritionist will help with this as well and point you in the right direction, but you also have to understand that a lot of dieting is just marketing schemes. Like at the end of the day, you just need protein, carbs, and fats. Like get that. That's what you need. Like you need it to survive. Fats are important for hormonal, reasons. Protein builds muscular and helps with digestion, and then carbohydrates kind of fuel the performance side of things, and take care of some glycogen stuff as well. Yada yada. So if we can just focus simply on building our plate of protein and then surrounding it with the proper carbs and fats, we're going to be on the right track. And then, like I said, it's a lifestyle change. It's not it's not diet. Like it has to be a change that you can make permanently for the better, and stick with it for the long run. Because again, if you don't, you're just going to resort back to the way that you were eating in the first place, and then you're going to lose all the progress that you worked so hard for. So you need to find the diet that you're going to go, you don't even think twice about if it's a diet. It's just your life. It's what you eat. And the next thing you know, you're going to be 5 years down the line, and this is just going to be, like I said, it's going to be a lifestyle. So you're not even going to think twice about it. So, but if you're not there already, you got to start somewhere. And like I said, I feel like these videos can definitely help point people in the right direction. Do your shopping on the outside version or outside part of the store. Minimal things are needed in the aisles. All your protein sources are going to be on the outside of the store. All your fruits and vegetables are going to be on the outside of the store. Your potatoes are going to be on the outside of the store. The only thing you need on the inner aisles is going to be rice, and then maybe oatmeal and honey, if you consume those things. So This is going to be the second video. I'm going to cut this one off here. Again, thank you guys for watching. I'm hoping these videos are helping you guys, point you in the right direction of where you need to go with your diet, how to construct it, how to formulate it, and how to ensure that it's going to be sustainable for the long run. So thank you guys for watching. Again, shoot your comments down below. Appreciate all the support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share, subscribe, whatever, do all the stuff. Again, you guys get it. Thank you so much. Be great.